What's up, guys? Storm's back. Seen him come back into pro play. What I've seen the most is the NATI qualifiers, but we also see him coming back into high MR pubs. In NATI qualifiers, he went 4-0. Surprisingly, Bulba did not pick him at all, but he was first picked up by Nouns in all 4 of the games, played on copy. So what makes Storm, back? The 2 big things are going to be the facets and innates, which, all heroes have, but Storms seem to be a little bit more impactful than most. The innate is the bigger thing, I think. So Galvanize, the innate of Storms, you get 1.5 mana regen for each time you level up your ult, and then you get 0.3 regen for every time that you get a kill or assist. You can lose some of this regen though for each time that you die. The max that you can lose when you die is 0.6 mana regen, but with the ult level up, you'll keep at least 0.5 regen no matter what for each level. That part becomes permanent. And then for each kill, you keep at least 0.1. So let's say, for example, I'm level 6. I have 2 kills. I will then have 2.1 mana regen. Let's say I go and die. I get down to 1.5. Let's say I die again. I go down to 0.9. Let's say I die again. I only go to 0.7 because I have 0.7 permanent from the 0.5 that I got from leveling up my ult and the 2.1s from my 2 kills. Then for the facets, Storm has 2 options on the facets. There's Shock Collar and Static Slide. Shock Collar, making it where your opponent receives an overload debuff if they attack you after getting a Vortex. It's alright, but not that great. And then Static Slide is where the real money's at. Everyone's taking this right now. It'll start a Remnant on where your hero is, just like any other Remnant, but will actually walk slowly towards the cast point unless, runs into something to explode. Why is this that good? People may ask. There's 3 kind of main reasons on why this is super good. Early levels, when securing the range creep, you don't really have to put your body where the range creep is anymore. You can have the Remnant go walk at it. Number 2, it helps you trade a lot better in the lane because your Remnant doesn't need the Vortex to set up for it anymore. Just an overload hit and then walking at them will generally be enough to proc the static Remnant on them, especially, obviously melees. The last reason is that it's a lot more efficient to take camps and take stack, as the Remnant will travel further into the middle of the neutral camp because of that activation timer. You can see some examples here. And it'll also make it where you don't have to take as much right clicks on the neutral, so your HP is just staying relatively higher. That being said, that is why everyone is seemingly to go 4-0-2 on the hero in lane. Sometimes picking up a point in Vortex to get a kill or to drag someone under a tower or whatever the situation may be. But generally 4-0-2, and then get the point in Vortex at level 8. With item builds, you will most every time start the Bull Branch, Fairy Fire, and a set of tank. This will ensure that if we don't get absolutely ruled, we get our bottle before 2 minutes, get it out, get the mana regen going, and then from there, generally pick up a null and a wand. Some people are going double null. You might also want some range ups depending on the matchup along with those 2 items. But wand, stick, every game is generally the build into treads. And then from there, we have our first item choice. Here we are going 1 of 3 options. First one being the most common is the Witchblade. Gives you a little bit of armor, tanks you up quite a bit. Synergizes a bit with the second item we get. You get a little bit of mana regen, obviously, and increases your damage through the Witchblade attack. Second gonna be Kaya. This will generally snowball our galvanized stacks a lot because we get the amped mana regen along with the spell amp damage. The cheapest of the 3 options, so we can get to our second item pretty quickly. And then the last option is Orchid. Orchid will be gone the least and only gone when absolutely necessary for the catch, as we want Kaya and Witchblade every game, so delaying those timings hurts us a lot as they can scale a lot more than Orchid, as Bloodthorn is just not as impactful as Plasma or Meteor Hammer. The second item we'll pick up almost every game, unless we need like a BKB or whatever the situation may call, is Eternal Shroud. This gives your hero a lot of HP. You tank up pretty hard, so you're pretty unkillable. Keep those galvanized stacks going. Plus, you do get some mana back through it, which is very nice, and you're not scared of magic damage anymore. Then from there, if we started with Kaya, we'll go back for Witchblade. If we start Witchblade or Orchid, we'll go back for Kaya. But generally seem to be the options, unless, once again, BKB or Lincoln or something like that needs to be picked up. Then from there, we'll try to upgrade this Kaya into Meteor Hammer, not Kaya Sange. How do you may be wondering why? It's because the mana regen amp actually gets upped from 50% to 75%, so your galvanized stacks are doing a lot more work. Although you can zip and cast Meteor Hammer, and it's very funny, very cool, it's not very good. It is a little bit nice to Meteor Hammer some towers, especially for teams lacking building damage, but not the reason really that it's bought. Then we'll upgrade the Witchblade to Plasma for the amped magic damage onto the units. Synergizes obviously very well with your overload attacks and everything like that. And then from there, it's kind of a choose your own adventure. Bloodthorn and Hex if you need catch. Shivas if you need the armor, the magic camp for the team, more team fights. BKB to stop stuns, get rid of debuffs, Lincolns to deal with, duels, dooms, abyssals, hexes, Ags if you need a little bit more team fight, Refresher if you need double BKB, double Ags pull. Shard you should get every time if you do get Ags or when you hit level 25, which we will actually talk about those talents now. What talent should I go? Well, the level 10 option I think is pretty obvious. We want the mana regen. More mana regen we have on Storm, the better. You're always going to be zipping in to be able to right click anyways. You don't really need the overload attack range. Level 15, this one's a little bit more debatable. I think the health is better. We see Copy take it every game, as obviously the more tankier you are, the more likely you are to not die and keep galvanized stacks going. But some people will get the static rim damage with the Kaya. Amps nicely. It's a decent amount of damage. According to Dota Buff, we actually see that the health has a higher win rate percentage right now by about 3.8%, which is quite significant. Then level 20 talent, we'll take Vortex Duration. This is because this increases our kill window onto these backlines that we're going to be jumping into the fights, as our stun now does more. And obviously is very good if we end up going Ags, but it's not the main reason. It's just increase our kill window, while the static remnants CDR is like nice, but like not really needed. And then level 25. A lot of you might want to take the 500 ball lightning auto remnants, but this is not 2014 Storm. We don't have infinite mana to work with to just be zipping and zapping everywhere. The overload is much better, plus with the shard, you're having these overload bounces everywhere, maybe doing 300 extra damage if it's bouncing within the AoE of that one hero you are going on. There will be an item and skill build guide in the description. That way you guys can use it throughout your game and don't have to remember everything that I've said in this video. So how we want to approach the game. Lane, try to get double remnant and overload attacks on the heroes and creeps as much as possible. With these nukes, you do take trades pretty well against most other heroes. Then whenever we do shove it in the wave, especially when we have Bottle and Null and some mana regen, go head up the jungle. You're pretty efficient at it. But if you are able to secure a rune, try to make a play happen in the side lanes, get your galvanized stacks going, or TP response to save the lane and get a kill. Once again, get the galvanized stack going. And then from there, once we honestly get 6, we don't really want to play in the mid lane as much as possible. Try to give it to supports to get their levels and gank and jungle. Because the more time you spend off the map, the more scared the opponent is, because you pretty much have a blink dagger at 6 minutes. You're very hard to deal with when you're attacking these side lanes, assuming you have full mana. The only time you really want to go back to mid is to get your bottle refilled. Yeah, so when you're jungling too, even if you aren't ganking these side lanes, these cores in the sidelines have to be very scared. You gotta try to pull the wave back. They can't overstep, because you could be there in 2 seconds, killing them, picking up galvanized stacks, snowballing your game. I don't know that mid games stage. We do want to try to secure first Roche and take Aegis ourselves. Your hero generally pretty effective at split pushing side lanes, as they need to channel their stuns pretty effectively to catch you most games. And then if we are deciding to take a team fight, we want to be trying to jump those back lines, especially the supports, get rid of them, while your right clicking core does the damage to the tankier units. And that's kind of your key to success, is just jumping the back lines over and over without feeding your galvanized stacks, keep letting that snowball, and keep being a menace to these backline supports and cores. Next video, I will be doing a more in-depth replay analysis of one of Copy's games, just so you guys can understand more effectively what you want to be doing around the map with certain timings, and so on and so forth. Thank you for watching. Give me some feedback on this style of video, because I do want to do more heroes. Let me know what heroes you guys do want to see. And yeah, once again, thank you for watching.